Rev up your engines!
Now here's something that shows people watch too many zombie movies. Most Americans are considering a Jeep more than ever with this virus going around. I guess they watch too many Mad Maxes or too many episodes of The Walking Dead. The exact figures are, in the last 30 days, people considering a Jeep rose by 2.6%. Now, that's not all that much, but they're saying that, well, they think it's a safe, rugged vehicle, can go off-road. I don't know what vision these people have in their heads, you know? All I have to say is, from my experience, the last thing I want in an apocalypse would be a Jeep, because they break all the time. If the zombies were chasing you, the Jeep might break and it'll catch up and get you. I'd still want a Toyota. They're more reliable, you know? But with this insanity of people hoarding toilet paper, water, which I can't figure out at all, maybe they'll start hoarding Jeeps. Well, if you wonder what's happening with closed auto factories, well, here's some interesting information. Volkswagen is presently burning through $2.2 billion a week. That's how much money they're spending. Even though they're not making any cars, they're still burning through $2.2 billion a week. That shows you how big Volkswagen is. I mean, short time ago, one year, they actually beat out Toyota as the largest manufacturer of cars in the world. They sold more cars than anybody else. Toyota went back and ahead again last year, but they make an awful lot of cars at Volkswagen, and they're going through $2.2 billion a week. Now, they haven't cut any jobs yet. Maybe that's part of the problem. They're paying people and they're not producing anything. Volkswagen employs 671,000 people. Now, China is already starting to pick up their production. We'll be able to ramp it up after a shorter period of time. Who knows? But I find it fascinating that they're going through $2.2 billion a week with the factories outside of China that are all closed down for Volkswagen. Stuban says, Mercedes versus Audi versus BMW. What are the most dependable over time? Okay, well, this isn't the case of the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is the case of the money pit versus the deeper money pit versus the endless chasm of money pits. In their own way, they're all giant money pits. Mercedes used to have a lot better quality than they do today. If you get one from Germany, it's still better than the ones that they make here in the United States or make in other countries. So in Europe, they seem to be better than they are here in the United States. Audi has always been kind of a money pit machine in there, you know, more and more as time goes on. And BMW, the same thing. You're talking about three money pit machines. They all have extremely low resale value. Check it out. You can buy used ones really cheap because everybody knows they're junk. They cost a fortune to fix. They are all money pits. You really got to get one, lease one. Then you know how much money you're spending, and when you're done, you say bye-bye. If you actually buy the car and then try to sell it years later, you lose a lot more money than just leasing it. So you got to get one, lease it. Get out of your system. But don't do like I've seen people, oh, I got a good used one real cheap, and then it costs a small fortune. Unless you're a gambler. And then if you can buy one for, $3,000 or $4,000, what the heck? Drive it. Maybe it'll last a little while. Then when it does break, you get rid of it. And you only lose $3,000. Even if you lease one, you're going to lose a lot more than that over the course of the lease. God says, Scotty, what's your opinion on the 2016-18 Toyota Corolla IM, formerly branded as Scion in the U.S., also known as Toyota Auris worldwide? Are they decent vehicles? And all the ones that I've seen, they were made in Japan, and the ones made in Japan are definitely better. Realize that they call them Auris around the rest of the world. Auris is the Latin word for gold. They keep playing with names. But, well, you know what I say about that? What's in a name? It's the vehicle that matters. I got a Toyota Matrix. Great vehicle. Made in Cambridge, Ontario. Canadians make great cars, too. Then they stop making them. Then what do they do years later? They come out with a Toyota Corolla hatchback, which is the Matrix. Originally, the Matrix was called Toyota Corolla Matrix in the United States. You really don't care what the name is. The Aurises, whatever you want to call them, they're Toyota Corollas, and they're great vehicles. It's kind of similar to Yaris. Now, the Yaris is a different animal entirely. A Toyota Yaris is a Mazda. They're made in Mazda factories, and then they're rebadged as Toyota Yaris's, not Auris, but Yaris. And those are Mazdas. They're okay cars, but they're not as great as the Corollas by any stretch of the imagination. Auris, Yaris, and it could have gone a little bit further apart, Herman 96 says, got an '08 Dodge truck. It cranks but it won't start, and it has the trouble code 2263, loss of communication with the alternator. It's not communicating with the alternator. Means the computer isn't getting a power signal from the alternator. You want to check power going to the alternator. And I fixed one a couple months ago with the same exact problem, that there was no power going from the positive battery terminal to the alternator to energize it. Positive cable was just old and corroded. I put a new cable on, started right up and ran. You want to check for loss of power. Maybe yours is going to be just as easy. The inside of that terminal got all corroded. It was on there. It was on nice and tight. When I tested it, there wasn't power going to the alternator, and as soon as I cut off that stupid terminal and spliced one of those new ones on, tightened it up, I checked it, alternator to power, turned the key, started right up. Yazid Bondi says, Scotty, what's the secret behind Toyota and Honda reliability? Okay, well, they've been having some problems lately with some stuff. It's relatively minor, but still. The Japanese have a different culture. They think years and decades ahead, where the American manufacturing, they think the next quarterly profit for their stock price. They're not really thinking long term all that well. Plus, the Americans were always into planned obsolescence cars. After World War II, it was really planned obsolescence. Hey, everybody's got money. Let's make them buy a new car every 3-4 years, make them so things break, so then they'll buy another car. With the Japanese, they're more towards perfecting something and making it a little better. Look at Toyota Corollas. They've sold over 30 million of those things. Maybe even 40 now, I don't know, but they sell a lot of them. And they just keep perfecting them over time. A little better here, a little better there, a little better. With the Americans, they'll make a car. Oh, that was a piece of crap, nobody buy it. Let's not make that anymore. Let's try another one. If you do make things better and try to perfect them, as time goes on, yes, you will get a better idea of it because you're perfecting an idea instead of throwing one idea, trying another, throwing it away. It's a whole bunch of cultural things that are different. And like in Japan, a factory job is seen as a very good job. The companies take care of their workers. They take them on vacations together. Like they fly the whole crew on vacation to Niagara Falls from Japan to see stuff. I've seen that with my own eyes. I grew up in Niagara Falls. They tend to care more, so the workers want to do a good job because they like the job. And here, a lot of times a factory job is seen as a crappy job most people don't want to do. And lately they've been lowering what they pay the guys and get rid of the old guys who make a lot, getting young guys, pay them a little. And that's not a good thing for making quality stuff, you know. That's just the way that it goes. It's a very cultural thing. Jazzy Smile says, got 06 Volvo XC90. My airbag went off. It's at a garage. They put a new airbag on, but now the SRS light is still on, and my vehicle won't crank or start or anything. Hell, basically what you need are better mechanics working on your car, because Volvos are very complicated vehicles. When that airbag goes off, you can replace it. The car won't start, and the airbag light will stay on. Configuring the component. Gotta have a Volvo dealer level computer. It has a configuration fault now because the new airbag has to be configured. You gotta find a guy that knows how to work on Volvos, has the computer, they're gonna plug it in, and they're gonna reconfigure the airbag. Then the light will go off and the car will start. But that's the way Volvo made them. They didn't want people, I guess, messing around with them. The car won't even start once the airbag's deployed, so you have to find somebody with that Volvo stuff to do it. The guy you took it to was obviously an idiot who didn't know any of that stuff. You got to find a guy who knows how to work on Volvos that can just reconfigure it. It's no big deal, but they got to have this fancy equipment to do it. Obviously, the guy you're dealing with doesn't even know about it and certainly doesn't have the equipment. Christian 33 says, I found signs of mice in the engine, nest in the airflow, and now a mouse that made my belt slip. What do people do to repel the pests? Mice don't like cats. There are ultrasonic pest repellers. I got a whole video on that. Getting rid of rats in your car, Scotty. They make 12-volt versions that you can connect to the battery of the car. They emit a high-low frequency. Now, I always wondered, do these things actually work? So I've got an ultrasonic listening device machine. Of course, we can't hear ultrasonic sounds. We're not bats. We're not rats. So I put that on, put it next to the machine, and lo and behold, I hear woo, 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 and that's what the mice and the rats and bats hear. Doesn't bother cats, so I put it right next to the cat. Cat doesn't care. They don't hear it. They don't like that noise. And I know that works because I'm in an old house here. It was built in the 1940s. Rats used to get under the house. I have the ultrasonic stuff, and I've stuck them in the wall. Drill a hole, stuck them in the wall, patched it up, and it makes that sound. Guess what? They all ran away. I no longer have this scratching in the walls that I used to hear at night when the rats are running around. They're all gone. They don't like it. So if you get one of those devices, stick it on your hood, guess what? They will run away. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.